We will begin starting basic animation in Photoshop. So what I have here is I just have a blank file. When I made it, I made sure the size wasn't too big. I actually just did 7 by 5 inches because what we're going to be doing is a lot of different add-ons with the animation. So just to prevent it from being too big of a file, you just want to make sure you don't make it huge. So once you have your actual file created, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Window and click on Timeline. So Timeline we used previously to do frame animations, and we did that with our actual digital drawings, but this time we are going to go to Create Video Timeline. So when I click on that, press Create Video Timeline, and on the bottom you have this. You have audio track and right now layer 0. Layer 0 is just my basic background layer. And if I wanted to make a new layer to work on, if I made a new layer here, it correlates with a new visual layer right here. I always recommend making sure layer, we want to make sure we use something called a video layer. I will show you the other option as well in a couple of days, but I find video layers just to be very easy to work with a lot less technical issues. So video layers, I'm going to click on new video layer. And you notice the difference between the video layer and the layers I had previously. So layer 0 and 1, which I just made, those are purple. Those right now are frame layers. However, the video layer that I just made is blue. And also on the layers icon on the right-hand side, it has a little film icon. So just to simplify this a little bit better, I'm going to get rid of layer 1 so I have less clutter right here, like that. So what I'm first going to do is, because these look very tiny right now, so if I move this over, I'm going to control my timeline magnification. So what that means is I can zoom in and see how long this actually is right now. And if I look right now, there's 10, 20, I'm going to go all the way in. So 0, 1F stands for 1 frame. 0, 2 frame, 2 frames, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., until it goes all the way right now until 1 second. So I have it set right now as 30 frames per second. What I'm going to do is I can actually change a lot of my different video setting options right here on the right hand side. I'm going to go in to set timeline frame rate, and the standard frame rate for animations are actually not 30 but 24. Click OK. So now it's going to be 24 frames per second. So what I'm first going to do is making sure, again, I'm always on my layer 2 of my video layer. I can actually start drawing. So I'm going to do a very basic and simple drawing here, nothing too crazy. I'm going to do a bouncing ball. Using my paintbrush, I'm going to click, change the color to black, make my brush a little smaller, and I'm going to have my ball start from over here. So right away, I'm just going to click like that, so it's a little off the frame. To make this easier for ourselves, I'm going to go to something in my options called onion skin. And onion skin, essentially what it lets you do is it lets you, as you go to the next frame, see what you've done previously. So I'll show you first without my onion skin and then with. So I created this. If I move over to my next frame, so 0, 1F, it's now gone. And I might be like, oh, wait, okay, where did I just put that? I can do this and be like, I think that's right. And then on my next one, be like, I think this is good. Like, it's a lot of guesswork and not really sure if it actually is going to look connected or not. So if we look right now, even between the first and second frame, that does not line up really at all. So what I'm going to do instead, so let me just undo what I just did. So on the, again, options, I'm going to enable onion skin. And you can, if you want, go into onion skin settings and you can change your opacity. I'm going to lower it down to about 35%. And then on my next frame, I can now see what I did previously and be like, okay, so on this frame, I'm going to still kind of draw a little close and draw about the same size like that. Next frame, like that. Like that. So now each frame, I'm simply drawing and moving. And I'm able to see again what I previously did. Okay, so let's say it hits the bottom right here. And then it's going to start coming back up over here. Again, I'm keeping this very simple, nothing too crazy right now. Just to get familiar with each single frame, I'm doing a new drawing. That. And if you need to, you can always move over. Oh no, oh no. There we go. Again, keep going like that. A trick you can do as well is if you don't want to keep drawing and then going down to your keyboard, drawing down to the number to the next frame, is on your keyboard after you draw that frame, you can use your arrow keys. So the right arrow key will go onto the next frame. Next. Again, I'm just making this super simple and nothing too crazy. And then it's going off of the page now, like that. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out. And what I can also do is if I notice that I'm not using all my frames right now, I can always shorten it as well, just to make it a little simpler for myself. And by dragging this back over here, I can now press the play button and we can see what it looks like. So if we're noticing it's sort of lagging and we can see everything that's coming up, what I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to turn off the onion skins for the preview. It's going to make it a lot cleaner and easier to see. Okay. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shorten that. And the blocks up here, you can control. You can either make it longer or shorter. And this sort of just ends the work area. So when I play it next time, it'll stop at this work area section. So press play. Okay. And so right now it's just infinitely bouncing up and down like that. Let's say if I want to, I can also include a background on that back layer 0. Because right now, my ball is just bouncing in empty space. Just to make sure I line up properly, I'm going to go to the bottom where it's hitting the so-called ground. And on layer 0, again, the back layer, I'm going to create a basic background for myself. Nothing too crazy. Because again, I'm just sort of getting familiar with these basic steps. I'm going to get some green grass. Just like that. And bounces again, right there, like that. So now when I press play, there we go. I have a basic animation for myself. So I would recommend just get started in playing around with the video layer and onion skin and just creating a basic movement of animation. Like before, when we did the animation frames, you're going to click on File. Always do a normal save. That way we can always go back to it. And we're going to save this as a PSD. Just a Photoshop, I have this called a sample animation.